Welcome, everybody. We are tonight live on the Freedom Team. We are doing the last installation of Millionaire by Halftime by Presley Swagerty. We are going to be covering Chapter 17 and Chapter 19 tonight. Chapter 17 is regarding obtaining huge results quickly. And Chapter 19 is following up the chapter that talked about team building. And so it's going to concentrate on leadership, meaning every team needs a captain, what it takes to be a leader. And that's a small chapter regarding leadership. So I have some thoughts that I, of course, want to implement here. Obtaining huge results quickly. I took a lot of notes over here on the left-hand side of the page because these notes that I took are regarding Eric Worre and his recruiting 20 people in 30 days. And you know what? I've never done 20 people in 30 days. Have I recruited 20 people? Absolutely. Over the course of 3 to 5 months. Yes. I think a lot of us have done that. I've certainly recruited way more than that, but I've never done it in a 30-day time period. Just the idea of it makes me intimidated. I'm just being honest with you on that. I'm being honest with you. And notice I've gotten to Senior Ruby and I've never done 20 people in 30 days. Okay. But if you want to ramp up your business and like literally make it explode, ask Jana Weber, who went Fast Starts Gold this month. Ask Sarah McKeag, who went gold in a very short amount of time. Ask, there's several Sarahs on our team. Some of them I get confused. There are so many people that are ranking quickly because they are recruiting in mass numbers and they are working intensely, and I mean intensely, to get these people in. And let me tell you something just between us, okay? When those people talk to me, they're asking me for advice. How do I go Fast Start Gold? How do I go Fast Start Gold? Okay. Well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to get every person that you know that you want in your business in the same room as quickly as possible and share the business with them. Share the plan, share the products, get them in there, sip and see, everybody in the same room. Get as many people in there as you can. Start doing multiple ones of those. You're going to need to reach out to more than 100 people as quickly as possible. Follow up. Do some presentations, third-party tools, videos, three-way calls, two-on-one, one-on-one calls, Zooms, whatever it takes. Let's get these people in. And guess what? Did they know they could do it? Were they worried about whether they could do it? Yes. They were like, I don't know if I can do this. I've got to do it so bad. We need the money. You know what? It's amazing. Desperation provides a will. It's like desperation. I don't know if this is the proper thing, but desperation is like the mother of invention, right? When you are in need of something, you're going to find a way. Where there is a will to do something and a fire and a massive desperation, you're going to find a way. I relate to that when I lost all my weight before Plexus, obviously more than 10 years ago, it's a little over 10 years ago. I found a program. I found a program through a magazine, and I was so desperate to make it work that I worked my butt off to make it work. And I stayed true to that program because I was desperate. I was desperate to not have to worry about getting cancer or diabetes. I was thinking that it was going to happen to me. So, if you can get to a point where you're desperate to do something, then I think that provides a huge will for you to get it done. Okay, so I briefly want to talk about some of the things that Eric Worre talks about in his sponsoring 20 in 30 days, okay? There's a video online. If you go to youtube.com, type in Eric Worre, recruit 20 in 30 days. 20 in 30 days, okay. So he refers to doing this exercise as such an intensity that he compares it to an airplane that takes off on a runway. If you have an airplane that's trying to take off on a runway and you don't increase the speed to the maximum that it's supposed to go, whatever that speed needs to be to take off, that needs to be a very high speed. Because if you're just kind of taxiing down the runway, are you going to get the wind in the plane's blades in the engine so that it can have the force that it needs to lift up off the ground? No. So you have got to go at this with an intensity like Mach 20 with your hair on fire, okay? To where it's like you got to get this done yesterday. And in his video, he talks about there's math. There's math involved. Just do the math. So how many people do you want to join? You want 20 people to join you in 30 days. So he says, guess what? Out of all the people that you talk to, 20% of them will join. So if you talk to all these people and only 20% of them join, and you want 20 to join you in 30 days, how many people do you have to talk to? You're going to have, how many presentations are you going to have to give? Well, you're going to have to give 100 presentations because 20 of those are going to result in someone joining you. So you're going to have to give 100 presentations in 30 days. That's a lot, right? So how many appointments are you going to need to make? You're going to need to make up to 125 appointments because some of those are going to be repeats. Some of those are going to be do-overs, like, well, I can't do this. Can we reschedule? Okay, how many calls, phone calls, you're going to have to be on? You're going to most likely have to do double the amount of phone calls as you do with appointments, so 300 phone calls. Because think about this, are they always going to answer the first time that you call? They're not going to pick up, so you're going to have to call again. You're going to leave a message, you're going to call again. So what kind of a list are you going to be working off of? You're going to be working off of a list of about 500. Now this is where he talks about recruiting 20 people in about the course of a year to 20 months. But if you want to recruit 20 people in 30 days, then those numbers are going to decrease quite a bit. Because why? The intensity. Okay? The intensity of you going at this hard and fast for 30 days, it's going to reduce those numbers quite a bit. So when you have a lot more, when you have speed, and he says this, the numbers are less because success loves speed. Success loves speed. So when you go at this with like Mach 30 with your hair on fire, you're not going to have to reach out to so many people, okay? It's still a lot, but not as many as before. So 30 to 40% of the people that you reach out to, because you're doing it so fast, 30 to 40% are going to join you. 30 to 40% are going to join you. So instead of 100 presentations, you might need to make like 60 to 70 presentations, okay? Instead of 125 appointments, you're going to maybe need to make 90 appointments. And instead of 300 phone calls, you're going to most likely need to make about 125 phone calls, okay? And you, instead of working from a list of 500, you can work from a list of 300, all right? So the idea, according to Eric Worre, is be a rabbit in the beginning, like go like 90 to nothing, just like through the gate. You never stop, you never take a break, you just go. Be a rabbit so that you can be a turtle right after that. So you don't always have to be a rabbit. And you can be a turtle a little bit. So after you've recruited these 20 people, then you can go and follow up and train them, implement and get them started and help them to start sponsoring too. And so that's more like the turtle part of the thing. So the rabbit part is you going hot and heavy for 30 days and getting people into your business. Okay, so then the last part of this that I'm going to tell you about is that he talks about the first 10 days of your 30, the first 10 days you're going to be contacting, inviting, and presenting. You're just going to be doing that nonstop. The second 10 days, you're going to be following up. You might have to do some more presenting because people weren't available to do it the first time. So follow up and presenting. The third 10 days, okay, so the first 10 days, the second 10 days, the third 10 days. So 10, 10, 10, 30, right? So the third 10 days, you're going to close. You're going to help people get started. So what is the first 10 days going to look like? Let me describe it more to you. You're going to work at 100%. 100%. Like if there's a 1 on a scale of 1 to 100, you're not going to work 70%. You're not going to give it 80%. You're not going to give it 90 or 95. You're going to give it 100%. You're going to turn the volume all the way up to the very top till it's blasted out. That's the kind of energy you're going to put into this, okay? So get your head around that. That's lots and lots of energy. So there's no off time. You're not going to sit back. You're not going to watch your TV. You're not going to be probably playing with your kids for 30 days. You're not going to have family time for 30 days. You are literally going to be doing nothing but business 30 days. And if you work a full-time job or a part-time job, you obviously can't quit your job. So you have to work this around your job. So if you're doing it full-time, then that means you're going to put in about 16 hours, like a day, 16 hours in a full, like if you're going to do this full-time, you're going to do this 16 hours a day. If you're going to do this part-time, you're going to put in about 8 hours a day. You're going to not get as much sleep as you normally do. Okay, so think about this. If you work an 8-hour day, then you're going to put another 8 hours into your work day for your business, and you're going to work 16 full hours. Okay, so if you're going to work this part-time and you do an 8-hour day, okay, you're going to put, did I just say that right? I am so not a numbers person. If you work full-time, you do 8 hours, you're going to do a total of 16 because you're going to put in 8 more. I think that's the way he explained it. And then if you work part-time, you're going to put an additional 8 hours in for your business daily, like daily. Can you imagine doing that daily? Like every day, not just on the weekends, like daily. And I hope I got that right. So you're going to use your drive time. You're going to use your lunch time. You're going to use your break time, your evenings, your weekends. You're going to make friends with your phone. You're going to be on it nonstop. You better carry some chargers galore. Basically, it's whatever it takes, whatever it takes. You're going to be doing getting your third-party tools, your videos, your brochures, your PDFs, your diamond documentaries, your whatever it takes to send to these people. You're going to be doing one-on-one presentations, two-on-one presentations like with your sponsor, your upline. You're going to be doing webinars, conference calls, blitz days, live events, live online events. A blitz day really quick is like you and some teammates of yours get in a room, you lock the door, basically you get a big calendar, a big sheet to write on, and you write down you're going to make this many calls in the next hour, and you literally meet that goal. Every single person is in like their own corner in the room, and they're making that number of calls for the hour, and you like literally check it off every time you get those calls done. Then the next hour you take maybe a 5-minute break, go to the bathroom, and you say we're going to make 25 more calls in the next hour, and you get those done. That's a blitz day, and you just do it hour after hour after hour, and you stay in that room together, and it feeds off. One person is feeding off the other getting this done, okay? Because one person, iron sharpens iron. So when you get a bunch of people in the room that are all doing the same thing, then it really ups the ante and it gives you more energy to do what you need to do. The second 10 days, you're going to follow up. You're going to do 3-way calls. You're going to do other exposures, like additional exposures to the business presentation. And you're going to answer a bunch of questions. You're going to ask a bunch of questions, and you're going to overcome people's objections. Okay? And then finally, the third 10 days, you're going to close. And how do you close? You ask them a lot of questions. And refer to my video about closing. Go to my YouTube channel, Suzanne Shirley, and look up the PowerPoint presentation with the brown slide talking about follow-up, how to close, and how to overcome the objection of it's too expensive. There's a huge presentation I do in there about how to close. Again, that's from Eric Worre. So you're going to close, you're going to ask people a lot of questions, you're going to tell them stories, because when you tell stories and you get them to think about things, when you ask them questions, then you're going to help them to make a decision and join you. So that's what you're going to be doing the third 10 days. So that is the Eric Worre sponsoring 20 and 30 days presentation. I thought that it was very applicable to put that in to this chapter 17, obtaining huge results quickly. Presley Swagerty talks about in 30 days, his goal with this chapter is in 30 days, you're going to do 30 live business presentations. Then you're going to go in and you're going to do the same thing for your new associates. And he calls it the full court press, the full court press. So it's massive and immediate action. You're going to build a full-time income in a short time. Do you want to build a full-time income in a short time? then you are going to commit to doing something like this. It's like whatever your desire is and your belief level is, that's going to determine if you do this. If you are not desperate and you don't have the full-on belief in yourself, you won't do this. I guess that describes me. I was desperate, but not enough to do 20 and 30 days. I wasn't. I'm just being honest. I've never done 20 and 30 days. Okay? It's rare. And that's basically a fast start gold. It's a fast start gold. Think about that. If you're already a gold ambassador, if you're already a silver ambassador, and you've been in for a year, whatever it is that you're in, you're senior gold, and can you go fast start gold next month? Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to make a decision. You have to gather all the tools together. You have to prepare everything, prepare everybody in your life that you are going to be untouchable for 30 days. Like they will not be able to contact you. Well, there's not going to be any dinners. You're not going to be cooking for your family. Most likely you're just going to be engrossed in this. You're going to get your business off with a bang. You will go gold in 30 days. You can do it. So a 30-day press is like the full court press of your network marketing business. Essentially, it means that you will show your business presentation to large numbers of people in a short amount of time. For serious business builders, we can condense a year's worth of work into a month. Think about that. A year's worth of work into a month. A month's worth of work into a week. That's mind-blowing, isn't it? And a week's worth of work into a day. Okay, boom chakalaka. That is huge when you think about it in that mindset. The 30-day press is only for those willing to push the envelope and take massive and immediate action. What is your goal? The goal of the 30-day press is to complete a minimum of 30 live business presentations for you and for your team in the first 30 days in this business. Okay? Now, can you do this in any 30 days in your business? Yes. Do you have to be in the first 30? No. You can do it at any time. You can just decide, I'm going to do a full court press this month coming up. And you just do it. You get all the stuff together and you do it. This will require you to get your top prospects in front of the presentation immediately. You will then do the same thing for all of your new associates that you bring in. The more prospects that you have in your pipeline, the more new associates that you will help begin their business. Okay? The simple plan of Bruce Lee. Listen to this. Bruce Lee said, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Think about how good you will be at presenting this incredible opportunity after you've done it 100 times. We've learned in previous chapters that it's not who's doing the presentation. It's not the quality of the person or the rank of the person that matters. It's not you saying the right thing. It's just the fact that you get it out there and you get the thing done. You say the right thing at the right time to the right person and they'll join. You say the right thing at the right time to the wrong person, they won't join. Okay? It just depends on who it is you're going to talk to and if they're ready to go. Bruce Lee understood the value of simplicity, of mastering the basics through repetition. The basics through repetition. Resist the temptation to overcomplicate things. Resist the temptation to make things difficult. You don't need to do it. Keep it simple. Simplicity gives you the ability to duplicate, and duplication will create leverage. Leverage, that's what we're after here, where you're not the only one working, but you've got all these people that are working too. Okay? Only through leverage can you achieve the momentum that can result in rapid exponential growth. Okay, so Presley says, I endorse a simple 3-step system. If you focus all of your energy on these 3 simple actions, you will be amazed at what is possible. Jeannie and I have been blessed to earn almost $20 million by staying focused on these 3 simple tasks and teaching others to do the same. And they sound very simple. Get ready. You ready for them? Plug into the meetings, set up appointments, and show the plan. Plug into meetings, set up appointments, and show the plan, and just keep doing that. Plug into meetings, set up appointments, and show the plan. It's really not that hard. It's not hard. There's no secret. It's not a joke. The truth is that simple works the best. So take action. What? Guess what? Get on the phone. Get on the phone. Stop texting and posting on Facebook. Does that mean that you're going to stop posting on? No, but it's like you're hiding behind a computer screen. You got to get on the phone, okay? The best way to see results in your 30-day press is to get on the phone and start setting up appointments. Appointment setting is a necessary daily activity for the serious builder. You hear top networkers from across the world say, quote, master the invitation and you'll master the business. There is simply no substitute for working the phone. If you want to know how to invite, we've already done an entire chapter on how to invite people to a presentation. You're basically setting up an appointment. You're inviting. When you set up an appointment, you are inviting. Okay? And if you want to know how to set up an appointment, go back to my YouTube channel, Suzanne Shirley, and find the chapter under Millionaire by Halftime that's called Setting Up Appointments. Learn how to do that. Master that skill. You can do this. Anybody can do this. It's the same thing you say over and over and over and over and over again with anybody on your friends list, anybody that's on your friends list. You just do the same thing. Okay? You must set up appointments and show the plan daily to build momentum in your first 30 days. So how do you explode? Home meetings. You want to explode? Do some home meetings. Use a variety of presentation methods. Home meetings are really incredible. One-on-ones, two-on-ones, hotel events, webinars, website videos are all great, but the way to explode your 30-day press is to have home meetings. Schedule 2 or 3 home meetings at your home or to the home of your sponsor the very first week that you begin your 30-day press. Then repeat this process by helping your new associates do multiple home meetings for their first week as well. And I put double stars by this next phrase. The only way to have a successful 30-day press is for you to get in the trenches and lead by example. Remember, this is monkey see, monkey do. It's a monkey see, monkey do business. Be the leader and aspire that you aspire to find. So if you are wanting to find a rock star, you've got to be that rock star. If you're just sitting back waiting for that rock star to come into your life and take you where you want to go in your business, you are going to be waiting forever because rock stars attract rock stars. So be the rock star and you will attract a rock star and you will uncover one. You will uncover one, okay? Momentum. Momentum is a precious commodity in networking. Huge. I know what it's like to not have momentum. I know what it's like. And I also know what it's like to have momentum. And let me tell you something. Once you have it going, once you have created it, once it is on it's like rapidly going crazy, you have to hang on to it. You cannot let it go. So getting it going is very hard, but once you get it going, you have to stoke the fire. This is a great time to discuss momentum because a 30-day press can often create it. You can often create full momentum on your team by doing this 30-day press. Momentum is the biggest factor in average becoming extraordinary. Let's say it again. Momentum is the biggest factor in average becoming extraordinary. Oh, wow. That's huge. Okay. Presley says, I also learned that it is much easier to keep momentum than to try to get it back. Absolutely. Once you've lost it, oh my Lord, God help you. You're going to have to work your butt off 2, 3 times as hard to get it back. Think about what your people are thinking on your team once you've lost momentum. Think about the morale damage. Okay? The retention is no longer there. You've got attrition going on like crazy. Okay? So not only are you not adding, you're losing people like flies. They're dropping off. Okay? So it's hard to get that going again once you've gained it and you've lost it. So when you gain it, you've got to maintain it and keep it going, okay? So as a coach, Presley said, I could always feel which team was gaining momentum, and so can I. Crazy enough. I'll never forget last October, I felt the rumblings. I knew things were getting ready to explode, and there was no obvious things going on yet, but I heard, this one's doing this, that one's doing that. There's activity over here, there's activity over there. There's things that are getting ready to happen. People are believing more in themselves. They're becoming more masters of their own domain. And I just felt it. I knew some things were going to start exploding. I knew it, and that's exactly what happened. I remember texting Christine saying, I feel the rumblings of an explosion. And I was right. I was right. So Presley says, I can feel like you're playing against it. It can feel like, okay, hold on. He says, it's strange. It's a strange force on the basketball court when your opponent has the momentum. When the opponent has the momentum, it's a strange force. It can feel like you're playing against a team that has an extra man on the court. Wow, that's powerful. But when my team got momentum, I pushed them even harder. I pushed them harder. I knew that this was the time to take advantage of what we had. And I wrote boom by this statement because it is so true. When I began networking, I carried this lesson into my new business. When I felt a group gaining momentum, I pushed harder. I made more calls. I did more presentations. That's the key. So keeping momentum is you don't lose it. When you want to keep momentum, you just cannot lose it. It's harder to create it than to maintain it. Momentum is not something that you want to take for granted once you have it. Once you get momentum, it's a great time to execute another 30-day press to send it into flicking overdrive, right? In the unfortunate circumstance that you lose momentum, the 30-day press is your best hope to regain it. I think that's a great idea. Okay, so repeat the process frequently. So do you do the 30-day press over and over and over again? Well, you're probably going to drive yourself mad if you do it. But you're going to need to repeat it from time to time. I will tell you this. Let me tell you something here in a second. For myself personally, I've never done a 30-day press where I've said I'm going to sponsor 20 people in 30 days. I might have wanted to, and I might have said, I'm going to do that, but I never really got all the tools together in order to execute that, okay? But I will tell you this. There have been times in my business where I have worked it hard for 90 full days. And I have heard Chris McCall talk about this quite frequently, that if you will just work it hard, like work your business, whatever hard means to you, like giving up TV, giving up extra sleep, giving up whatever it is that you're having to give up in order to give it extra time and work it hard, whatever your hard determination is. Work it hard for 90 days and then take a brief break and then dig in again for another 90 days. And honestly, that's what I did that got my business off its feet, or on its feet. It got it on its feet. I just literally went hard for 90 days at a time. I gave up my weekend time. I gave up my lunch time. I gave up an hour extra before school. I mean, I started sacrificing very early when I started doing my business. And I dug in because I saw the vision. Okay, so repeat it frequently. It is imperative to teach the 30-day press to your new team members, whether you personally sponsor them or they come into your group in depth someplace, okay? Understand that even if you teach it to your entire team, then only some of them will answer the challenge and show you that they are true business builders. Only some. In fact, I would say only a very few, okay? This is a great indicator that somebody has decided to change his life and stand in the gap for his family. It shows that he or she is willing to work hard and be coachable. An individual who jumps at the opportunity to do a 30-day press right out of the gate is showing you that he or she has a burning desire to succeed. Pour yourself into these pace setters. Oh my God. Pour yourself into these pace setters and help them build their teams and develop their leadership skills. help them, and spend your time with them. Don't be spending your time with the 80% that can't remember their login information to their back office and who are constantly asking you for the number to customer service. And is it okay if I steal your post and post it on Facebook? Those are not the people that you need to be spending time with, okay? You need to be spending time with the people who are like, let's get this done. I want to sponsor this many people in this many days. I want to get home. I want to get free from my job. I want to be home with my family. I want to make some dreams come true. Those are the people that you need to be spending your time with. Once again, there is no substitute for a real example. There's no substitute for you doing it first, okay? Brian Lucia talks about his company's expansion. The national expansion was much anticipated change in our team's way of life, according to Brian Lucia. We took massive and immediate action. The 30-day press was underway. Here's how Brian remembers it. We prepared by rehearsing our game plan time after time on team conference calls. So that's what we do. We get on team conference calls and you rehearse your game plan. How many times have we done that for various different things on this team? Not necessarily a 30-day press, but we've done rehearsing. We've gotten on conference calls and we've talked about here's what we're going to do. And we've rehearsed whatever it is that we're going to do. But more than that, we repetitively practiced the 30-day press right in our own backyards. You see, luck is simply labor under correct knowledge. Luck is labor under correct knowledge, L-U-C-K. And to have luck, you must put yourself in a position of opportunity. Put yourself in a position of opportunity. One thing we can control is focusing our prospecting efforts on successful people. That's the one thing you can control. And preparation is the key. Preparation is the key. Some things you cannot control, but you can control focusing on your efforts on successful people. That's who you get this thing in front of, okay? I simply said to Chip on the phone, this is one of his team members, I simply said to Chip on the phone after we had a brief get-to-know-you chat, quote, look, I'm going to fly up there in 2 days. Can you put 5 to 10 of the most successful people that you know in a room to hear what I have to say? That's a big deal. Get 5 to 10 people, the most successful people you know in a room, and I'm going to come up there and do a presentation. He said yes and joined as an associate immediately. That was on a Monday. That Wednesday, I walked into the meeting with Chip and he delivered. There sat 6 of the most successful people in the area. Don't you think that it's a lot more important to get 6 successful people in front of this thing than 100 people that need a leg up or need a break in life? Sorry. Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a leg up, and we need to help anyone who wants it. But think about the leverage you're going to get with successful people. Just 5, 3, 2, 6, 10 successful people. Share this thing in front of successful people. You will explode because they already have skills in their own field. They are already successful in their own right, in their own businesses, whatever it is they're doing. So at the next meeting, I'm just kind of skipping here. At the next meeting, there were 52 people in the room. Why? Because those 6 successful people loaded it up, okay? We went from 1 person to 6, then 52 in just 16 short days. The new associates followed the lead of the 6 leaders who set it all in motion. In just a few months, the team numbered in the thousands. Ah, wow. All of this resulted from everyone's bringing 3 to 5 people each week. Everybody just brought 3 to 5 people each week. So he says, according to Brian Lucia, there's 2 additional keys to success. Number 1, the leaders stayed engaged by phone with the new associates and emerging leaders throughout the week, not just on meeting Wednesdays. So they stayed on the phone with them throughout the week, okay? And number 2, we put an emphasis on the meeting before the meeting and the meeting after the meeting. So in other words, they showed up there early to, collaborate and get excited. And then they went someplace after the meeting, like a dinner or someplace where they could hang out and have coffee and be all excited and talk about everything. The point is this: when the perfect storm comes, you must be ready. Practice the skills every single day, even when it takes an extra effort. Then when bad times come, you are not as bad as you think. You're not as bad off as you think. You are a product of your preparation and your mindset. The key is to not be caught off guard. You be positioned. Position yourself for success. Do the right things every single day. Stay focused, stay positive, stay engaged, and when the opportunity hits, do a 30-day press and watch your team explode, says Brian Lucia. You'll know when it's time to do it. So what do? You first of all decide to do the 30-day press. You decide, you make a decision, you prepare yourself. Get all the things that you need, and then you choose a date. You get it on the calendar. I'm going to do my 30-day press on this particular 30 days, and it's going to start here. It's going to end here. Get yourself ready. Map it out. Get all your tools together. Let everybody in your family know you're going to be unreachable for 30 days. You're not going to be able to cook dinners. You're not going to be able to do carpools. You're not going to be doing anything except for going to your day job and coming home and working your business. That is important. Somebody else in the family is going to have to step up and make meals and wash clothes and do the carpooling and whatever else. I mean, look, how bad do you want it? It's up to you. If you're desperate, you'll do something like this. Because let me tell you something, it does work. It does work. I have seen this happen on not only this team, because now we have a Fast Start Gold on this team, but I've seen it happen in teams all around me. And they literally explode so quickly. Okay, so the homework on page 150 says, number one, first decide on a date. Nothing happens until you begin. Go tell everybody on your team you're going to do it. Let everybody know you're going to do it in your family. Next, number two, decide your activity goal, how many people you will expose your business to in the next 30 days for yourself and for your team. Then the maximum is 30, but you decide your own activity goal. If your goal is 60, then you know what must average 2 a day. You're going to have to average 2 people a day for 30 days. How many you decide upon is not as important as deciding on a number and committing to reaching that number. Number 3, I'm a visual person, says Presley, and maybe you are too. So let's set up a visual aid for your 30-day press. In other words, get it on paper and map it out and stick it on the wall someplace. Consider using a piece of poster board and mapping out a 30-day calendar. At the top, write 30-day press. Highlight your start date and your end date for your 30-day press. You'll put this calendar on your bathroom mirror or any other place where you can see it often. This is a visual reminder of your 30-day mission. Number 4, then start showing the business at the pace that you've set for yourself. Every time you show the business, mark your poster board calendar accordingly. Nothing is more motivating than progress, and as you see your poster board fill up, a result of your showing the business, the visual progress will excite you, and you will find it easier and easier to keep moving forward. Now, I have seen this done in 2 different ways I'm going to share with you. You can do an activity calendar, and this is really incredible because what you're focusing on is not results. You're focusing on your activities. And so you set a goal to reach out to so many people and follow up with so many people every single day. And what you do is you get that on your calendar every single day. You write those names out. You prepare it the night before. Maybe you prepare it weeks in advance that you're going to do these people on these days every single day. And you focus on the activity, and that is exciting because your activity is going to generate momentum. It's going to generate results. But you don't focus on the results. You focus on the activities. Now, another thing, and this is one of my personal goals to do, is to start, especially when I have my office, and I need to get this done before this. I just don't have any place to put it except for my bathroom mirror. But I need to get a poster board with little stickies. And I'm going to put all my level 1 active ambassadors, and I'm talking active ambassadors. I'm not talking just level 1s that you've sponsored over the course of however long you've been in Plexus, because we all have level 1s that are no longer doing anything. They're turned off. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking active level 1 ambassadors. Put each person on a sticky note, and when you hit 40, you are really, really close to having what it takes to go to Jewel. I have heard it all over Plexus, an average of 40 level 1 active ambassadors on your first level, and you are set up for Jewel status, okay? And then you help them go silver, you help them go gold, you help them. And in the meantime, you continually add 2 to 3, whatever it is your goal is, every month in your own personal business on your level 1s. Because not all your level 1s are going to go build their business. They're going to be wholesale ambassadors and they're going to fall off. So you have to replace them. But once somebody has a team, I would say 90 to 95%, they're not going to quit because they're collecting a check. Their lives are changed. Their health is different. They're going to stick around, right? So you want 40 active level 1 ambassadors. That's my goal. I want to do that. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing. Okay, now the next chapter that I want to talk about is chapter 19. Every team needs a team captain. What is leadership? What is leadership? One word: influence. Leadership is your influence in the people, in the lives of the people that surround you. Okay? Anyone can become a leader. I want you to know this. Leaders are not born. We often go through life thinking that. I certainly thought that. I thought I was a born leader. Just because I'm loud, just because I'm an extrovert, just because I love to talk to people, just because I love to teach people, just because I make decisions quickly, just because I go for things and I'm bold and I'm gutsy does not make me a leader. But that's what I grew up thinking, that anybody that had those traits and those characteristics is an automatic leader. Not so. Not so. Leadership is so much more than those characteristics of personality traits that I just explained to you, okay? Some of the greatest leaders are introverts. They're very quiet people. Leaders know how to empower others, and that means they give up their own personal power to empower others. They're selfless. They are humble. They don't have to be loud. They don't have to be people. They don't have to be like extroverts. When I say people persons, they don't have to be an extrovert. They can be an introvert. They have to have people skills, obviously. Okay, you can be an introvert and have people skills. Because why? You can learn them. But leadership is so much more than those little characteristics. Leadership is not a title. Leadership is not a rank of any sort. And leadership is not defined by how many people you're in charge of. You might be in charge of a department of so many people, or a huge business, or the whole entire floor of something, or the whole department of human resources, or even a school. You might even be a principal and you're in charge of all the teachers and all the students in a school. Does that make you a leader? No. You could be a great manager. You know how to plug people in certain places and tell this one to do that and tell this one to do that one. And go do this and you go do that, and here's a plan, we're going to work this plan, and you're a great manager. But being a leader is so much more than being a manager. And every team needs a leader, a captain, so to speak. Leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another life, and that's John Maxwell. In this chapter, you're going to find out that anyone can be a leader, because all leadership means is that you can influence other people. A leader helps people change their mindsets and actions for the better. Show me any organization that's exploding, and I will show you a leader at the top of that organization. Think about the Apple Corporation. Think about Southwest Airlines. The best airline in the country, the most profitable airline in the country. They have the least amount of turnover. Their employees stay put. Costco is the most successful discount big box store next to Walmart, but Costco is really not in the same respect as Walmart. Costco is a wholesale discount store, and they beat Sam's out of the water. Okay, think about that. And when you look at these companies that are exploding, it's not about the product or the service that they're providing. It's the leadership. The leadership. Okay? You have a leader that's humble and that puts other people before themselves and has a huge why. A huge why. They operate out of that why. That why is the number one thing that drives them. And that's why you have a company or an organization that is exploding in full momentum. In networking, we lead a volunteer army, and it requires a higher level of leadership than traditional businesses because there are no formal lines of authority. And I can't say to you, have this report on my desk by 9 a.m. Monday morning or else you're fired. That's authority. I don't have any authority over anybody on this team. Everybody on this team is a volunteer. So if everyone on this team is a volunteer, it requires a leader of mass proportions because there is no authority here. Okay? I'm not in charge as in authority. We are not the team's boss. We cannot fire them. We can't hire them. In short, we cannot make them do anything. In a way, for myself, just speaking from my own personal experiences, I love that. Because when I talk to people on the phone and I am inspiring them and I'm giving them the ideas of things that they could be successful, and I also coach them and help them come up with their own, I help them discover their own ways that they can be successful and what their own ideas and thoughts about what they could be doing to improve their business or themselves. And guess what? They take ownership of it. I don't have to go around feeling responsible because they take ownership of it, and I can bless and release because, yes, it's my job to inspire, but I don't have to take on the responsibility 100% for their success because ultimately their success is up to them. What they want to do, they're the boss of their own business, right? Honestly, I am grateful for that. I tell you what, it's so hard enough to keep up with my own self and be accountable to my own self and be the boss of my own self. I can't even imagine being someone else's boss. I love that I don't have to be someone else's boss. I don't want to be someone else's boss. I don't enjoy the idea of being someone else's boss. It's not fulfilling to me. I think what's more fulfilling to me is helping others and being a light and being an inspiration and being a source of guidance. That's what's more inspiring to me. I certainly don't want to boss people around. I can't stand that. I certainly can boss people around, but I don't enjoy it. I don't think it's meaningful. The ultimate player coach is Bill Russell. Bill Russell was a member of the Boston Celtics dynasty of the 1960s. He was an NBA player in the Hall of Fame. His greatest accomplishment was bringing the storied Celtics 11 championships in 13 different seasons. He honestly makes other people look better than themselves. He makes others look better than themselves. Okay, like this, for example. The Celtics player Don Nelson told the Boston Herald, quote, "There are two types of superstars. One makes himself look good at the expense of the other guys on the floor. But then there's another type who makes the players around him look better than they are." And that's the type that Bill Russell was. So make the players on your team look better than they really are. Make them feel better about themselves than they have ever felt about themselves before. And you're giving personal power away and helping them to gain more personal power. That's what a leader does. Leaders focus on teamwork. The leader is part of the team. The leader is not at the top of the team or the head of the team. The leader is down in the trenches with the team. Okay? The team was Okay, this is Red Auerbach, which is talking about the Celtics, and he said, the team was multi-talented with many great players, but Russell was the cornerstone. So like the team captain, the cornerstone, but notice how the captain or the cornerstone is still in the trenches with everybody. You're not out there outside of the team. One of the game's greatest players, Bill Russell, personified servant leadership, meaning leading by example with the will to win. So he didn't just tell everybody how to do it. He went out there and did it, and he led by example. So he was the captain or the cornerstone, but he was a part of the team. First you serve. Okay? The team captain is to serve first. You serve people first. A team captain is a leader whose inclination is to serve, not to lead. You serve first and not lead. Okay? It is the desire to serve that creates the leaders. Leaders have a caring persona. They care about all members of the organization and their successes. They genuinely want personal and professional growth, not just for themselves, but also for their teams. They desire personal growth for their teams. The process of putting others first is realizing that not everything is about you. The Power of Ethical Management, Ken Blanchard and Norman Vincent Peale wrote, quote, people with humility do not think less of themselves. They just think of themselves less. Wow. People with humility don't think less of themselves. They just think of themselves less amount of time than they think about other people. That's so true. Leaders should be characterized by humility and a desire to share the spotlight. Leaders should give credit to others when possible. Leaders understand that associates work harder and with more focus than they are recognized for their contributions to the team. They work harder than what they are recognized for. So, the three things about leaders: they think of themselves less, they desire to share the spotlight, and they give credit to others where it's due. So Presley ends the chapter with 10 steps to leadership. I'm going to go through them quickly. You must make no small plans. That's step number 1. You must make no small plans. In other words, make some massive, big, huge plans, audacious plans. We are in the dream business. You must see things differently. We must see things as they can be and not as they are. Leaders show that dreams can become a reality with hard work. While so many others work hard to block out that reality, that they really have no dreams. So, wow, I want to say that again because I put wow out to the side. This is really amazing. Leaders show that dreams can become a reality with hard work, while so many others work very hard to block out the reality that they really have no dreams. Ouch. We must get our team in the dream building business again. Dreams enrich your life by giving it hope and direction. One of the greatest benefits of networking is getting to associate with people who have dreams, and I'm telling you something that is powerful. Being at Leaders Retreat last year, sitting on the floor with everybody who had worked so hard to get there, so hard, like in the trenches. And there we are sitting together with tears in our eyes, looking around and saying, we are all the future leaders of Plexus. And we're going to go there together, guys. We're going to be on the beach. We're going to be in Kona. We're going to be on the stage. We're going to do this together. I mean, it's so powerful to be around other people that have vision and that have dreams and they are working hard for them. It is powerful to be around that. I think that's why Leaders Retreat is so amazing. One of the main reasons. Number 2, you must care about your team. You've got to care about them. You must get to know the people on your team and really build personal relationships with them, bond with them. So Zig Ziglar says Get lost in the success of your team. Get lost in their success. You have everything in life that you want. You can have everything in life that you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. Literally, people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care about them. They don't give a care about what you know until they know how much you care. That's all they care about, is whether you care about them. Once you show them that you love them and care about them, they will bond to you for pretty much forever, as long as it's sincere and genuine. Lead by example. Leaders must get into the trenches, and their teams will follow. If you want prospects and new associates to be excited about your business, then you will need to be excited about your own business. If you are at a 2-on-1, then sit on the edge of your seat and be engaged. If you are at a home meeting watching a DVD presentation, then act as if it's the best movie that you've ever seen. If you're at a big meeting, sit down in the front of the room, stay focused, and act as if it's the first time you've ever seen that presentation. Lead by example. Always remember that there is a direct correlation between what leaders do and what their teams do. He talks about a 3-ring black binder. I remember a few years ago when I started showing the plan using a black 3-ring binder. After about a month, I started showing it that way. I was at a hotel meeting and I looked around the room, and guess what he saw? Much to his surprise, many in the room were holding a black 3-ring binder. Modeling is powerful. Model what you want your team to do. You do it yourself and you watch them do it, because they will do exactly what you do. Number 4, you must have commitment. What is commitment? It is an unwavering belief. It is a state of mind. It is an attitude that failure is not an option. You need that inner want to that keeps you up at night. So Presley says, I found that people want to stick their toe in the water and then say that when they start making big money, they'll just jump in. Wrong, 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 wrong. If you don't jump in now, you will never make the big money. You can't stick your toe in and think you're going to make big money and then go all in. You have to go all in first and believe now before the money is ever there, and that's when you'll make the big money. So how do you make a commitment? How do you make a commitment? You must make a decision that you want to change your life. Then you must reinforce that decision by plugging into meetings, reading good books, listening to good CDs, and hanging around committed people until your decision becomes a commitment. Until that decision becomes a commitment. With a true commitment that you can change the world, you can certainly change your financial picture. Number 5, you got to set goals, writing them down with a due date. That was a powerful thing that I did last year in Highway to Emerald, where I wrote down 9 consecutive months, mapping out what I was going to do with my team in 9 full months. Can you imagine that? And the numbers at the end of that 9 months blew my mind. I was like, how in the world am I ever going to explode like this? Let me tell you, it happened. It happened. Goal setting is powerful. When you have it down on paper, you will work for that goal. Number 6, you must be a success motivated. You must be success motivated. Generating resources leads to bigger possibilities in your life. Money gives you options that broke people will never have. So when you have more resources, you have more options. It's not about the money. It's about what the freedom that it's going to provide, opportunities it's going to provide. You must be coachable. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't go out there on your own thinking you're going to redo this whole thing, that you got the best idea ever. Go ahead and just start doing things that other people have done that have been successful. Just don't reinvent the wheel. It takes too much time. You must be a team player. What does the team acronym stand for? Together, everyone achieves more. Number 9, you must have a now mentality. A now mentality. Someday when my ship comes in, how many times have you heard that? Someday when I have the time, someday when I have the money, someday when I learn these skills. It's never going to happen. Someday will never happen. Have I got some shocking news for you? Someday does not exist, never has, and never will. There's only today. There's only today. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is all we have. As a leader, you must have a willingness to act. And don't just push off things in someday. You got to act. You have to have a willingness to act. Recognizing opportunity and acting on it is a key trait of a true leader. Recognizing an opportunity and acting on it is a key trait of a true leader. The only thing I can tell you as an example is when I ended my 8 months of skepticism, realized immediately after seeing the videos and the different recent posts that Christine had put on Facebook that this was something incredible, and I had been an idiot to ignore that or mock it and make fun of it. And so when I sat across the table from her and she pulled out the compensation chart and she showed me how she was making her money and how she was going to do it and where she was going to go, and she told me the time frame and when she was going to plan to rank up to Emerald and Sapphire and Diamond, and she told me all these things, and I was just like, boom, I got it. I got the vision right now. I got the vision. And then I said, that's it. I'm signing up tonight. So a true leader recognizes opportunity when they see it, and as a result, acting on it immediately. You've got to have those qualities. And 10, never quit. Perseverance is the key. When the going gets tough, and the tough get going. That's the bottom line. When the going gets tough, the tough people don't ever quit. They say, look, I'm never going to give up. I don't care how hard this is. I see this vision. I know this is going to happen. It's not a matter of when. It's just going to happen that it happens. You know, how many times have I set a goal to hit Emerald this year? May 31st, June 30th, July 30th, 31st. None of those happened. Oh, I'm just going to quit. My goals, I didn't meet my goals. Oh, well, I'm going to keep the same goal. I'm going to push the time frame back. So now, September 30th. Well, at the end of August, I see that I don't have the numbers to hit it September 30th. Most likely I won't. Guess what? Oh, I think I'm going to quit. No, I don't think so. I'm going to push my time frame back. I don't give a care how long it takes. It's just that it's going to happen. Period. End of story. No quitting. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. They don't quit. Leaders dream big. They work hard and see the job through. I'm going to read this last thing. I'm going to be done. In networking, I believe that we are leading a crusade against debt and financial worries. Amen. Amen. Our motivation in networking goes beyond money. It is about growing as a person, making friends, and helping people. Unfortunately, far too many people work only for the money, and they do not have their heart in their work. The need to earn a living often overshadows the calling that we have, and so much so that people will work at the jobs that they hate. Leaders in networking push themselves to achieve beyond their own or anyone else's expectations. Leadership involves your ability to pass your passion and your enthusiasm to other people. Approaching your networking business with dedication is not enough. You must inspire other people. You have to radiate your commitment to your business so that your enthusiasm is contagious to your team. You have to let your team know where you stand, what your dream means to you, and what you are willing to make your dream come true. The leader must be committed to the success of every person on the team. The leader helps the team to grow and coaches them on how to improve their skills and achieve their dreams. As the team captain, selling the future, the potential success of the team and each associate is also your job. selling the future. Get people to believe that this thing is rock solid and know it with all your heart. How often do you hear me say that? Where this company's going, where this team is going. This is a diamond team, because guess what? I believe it. I believe it. I totally do. I know this team is set up to be a diamond team. I see what's going to happen down the road. Okay? I know what's going to happen. And I tell you guys that all the time because I believe it myself. So it's your job to instill that into all the people on your team. So I have covered the how-tos in this book, says Presley Swagerty, but they mean nothing without a huge want to. If you want to badly enough, you will figure it out how. That has been proven time and time again by so many top earners. The only qualification I have to be a multimillionaire is how badly I wanted to succeed. And it all happened in spite of the odds. I grew up poor and coached basketball for 16 years. And I would not change a thing because all of those experiences are what have allowed me to be where I am today. Because of networking, we have a chance to make a difference in our world. It happens one person at a time. As we touch the lives of other people, because of the exponential growth that is possible in networking, before we realize it, we may have touched the lives of thousands, and our dreams can become our reality. Presley says, I am convinced that with all my heart that there will be two kinds of people when it comes to networking as a vehicle for financial freedom. Number one, those who wish that they had. And number two, those who are glad they did. I hope that you will be in the glad they did category. Amen. Amen and amen. And then the homework is on 180, 181. He goes through the different steps, talks about how to review them, write them down, and get going as your team's leader. Amazing book. I'm so grateful that we were in this book, that we did this for our team. So grateful. Thank you, God Almighty, for this book. It was a wonderful thing, and I know you guys acquired so many skills. Do not feel that you have to be perfect at this. Perfection will never happen, but practice makes perfect. And when you practice the laws of inviting and the skill of inviting, the skill of setting appointments, the skills of following up, the skills for setting goals, the skills for closing the deal, the skills for dreaming big, the skills for inspiring your team. You know what? You can do this. These are skills that can be acquired. And there's anybody that wants to do this can do it. Okay? I'm so grateful for this book. It's an amazing book. I'm going to go to the gallery. I'm going to unmute. And here we are. Hello, hello, hello. What do we think? This is the end of it.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Awesome sauce, huh? Questions, comments?
It was a great book. It's
Loved
absolutely wonderful.
Awesome book, huh?
Well, I learned a lot from it, and I certainly, in this book, see where I am and where I need to go. And it's kind of like a little roadmap.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And I like it because you can always go back to it. I'll probably reread it and reread it.
Exactly. I agree with you there. 100%. Anyone else have something they want to ask or comment about?
Yeah, that was really good. I'm sick, so I'm just listening today, but you did amazing as usual.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, the thing that I liked was tonight was the whole thing about, which we all know and whatnot, is the manager and the leader, and differentiating that, and about helping others and coaching them and getting the best out of them. So was just a different twist on things we already know, but I enjoyed that part a lot
Mm-hmm.
about, you can be really good at telling people what to do and directing them, but that's not a true leader.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I really need to engage my level ones a lot more. Like, I mean, I try, but to really try to become better, build that relationship, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the whole book really is just reiterating a lot of the stuff that you've already taught us, and other things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was just like a more in-depth Suzanne coaching session.
Right.
Mhm.
You guys are so sweet.
Wait,
It's the truth.
Aw.
in the Blitz thing, I think that's a good idea.
That's an Eric Worre deal. That came right off of his video.
Yeah.
Go watch that hour-long webinar that he does, and it will knock your socks off. It will intimidate you.
Is that the 20 and 30 thing?
20 people in 30 days.
Yeah, I watched it twice and I was getting ready to do it. And it is intimidating, and you have to plan it, but he defines it, so he's a real numbers guy.
Yes.
And he does it on a whiteboard,
Uh-huh.
and he really explains it down to the exact numbers, and he even tells you how it's so much better to do it that way than to do it over a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Do that 30 days. And it basically gets down to 2 people that really do the business for you out of that.
Mm-hmm.
You're just doing it quicker.
Uh-huh.
But he's really good, and he prepares you for it. He tells you exactly what you have to do.
I mean, I love that one quote in the chapter that I think would pretty much describe the 20 and 30 days. You're doing a year's worth of work in 30 days. You're doing a month's worth of work in a week, and then a week's worth of work in a day. And I think that is powerful when you can look at it in that time frame and that reference. It puts a perspective on it. It lets you know that you really are, you're going to town with this thing.
But that in itself is intimidating as all get out.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah,
I
because
want
he
you
has.
to know that any one of you, including myself, any of us could do that. Any of us could do it. We just have to be desperate enough, and we have to want it bad enough.
Right.
Okay? It's not about can you do it. It's not, okay? It's about do you want to do it? And will you do it? Because there's so many people that wish and want, but what are they willing to do? I can't sit here and say that I'm holding myself to that category. I mean, I work very hard, but I have never done, I'm going to do 20 and 30. I've worked every hour and moment that I could, and I worked, pedal to the metal, hair on fire. I did all of that, but I didn't set the goal of 20 and 30. And I never worked with that goal in mind. I don't think I worked with that particular type of a goal. So, yeah, but we can all do it. All of us.
The only thing that, just goes through my mind about that whole process is developing relationships with people, because right now I'm very close to Leaders Retreat, okay? So I feel like the way I'm dealing with people now, and I don't want it to sound like I'm desperate, but it's different than planting the seeds and fostering relationships and building trust. So when you jam it into the 30 days, and I have never done that, but I'm just saying maybe it's a fear, or maybe it's something that's holding me back, that I would come across as very quick sales. I understand that it builds like intensity, and that's what Eric Worre says really works, like the sense of urgency. And I guess I'm just concerned about balancing that with being authentic and really wanting to help people instead of
Right. You don't want to leave them feeling like they've been sold.
or focused on a number of.
Right. You want to see people as a dollar sign.
Yeah. Or 10 more, 10 points, you know.
I can see that. I would feel that way as well if I did something like that. I think, yes, I have the quiet desperation to do something like that, but yet at the same time, just like you, Susie, I don't want people having the feeling of, because I had somebody one time from a tag sale site say, well, what is it that you're trying to sell to me? And it's like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to share something with you, and I'm trying to build a relationship with you. And they're like, well, what is it you're trying to sell? And I don't want people to feel that way at all, ever.
Mm-hmm. A great way to disarm them, I would say, is when someone asks you something like that would be, well, I'll tell you what, if you feel like I'm trying to sell you, then maybe perhaps we shouldn't even talk, because I've already made the big mistake of making you think that I'm trying to sell you something. Really, honestly, these products change lives. They've changed my life. They've changed my family's life. If you'd like to hear about them, I would love to share it with you. But if you'd rather not, and you feel like there's a sales pitch coming, then really there's no need to go any further.
Right.
And when you pull away from people like that, you verbally pull back, and you take the opportunity away from them. That gives you a sense of credibility with them, and they can say, okay, well, she is sincere. She's not trying to sell me. Okay, well then let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear it. What is this all about? And that goes with the prospecting business as well when you're talking to them about the opportunity. This may not be for you.
Right. It's how you, it's how you present it. Yeah. And like, I'm onto something very big that could change your life and is making people healthy, and you want to come along. That's great. I'd love to show it to you. If not,
it may not be for you.
I'm going to move on to the next person, because it's really happening fast.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you set up an appointment. And that's the Presley Swagerty way.
Mm-hmm.
You simply go through those remember the 4 circles?
Yeah.
That's a powerful statement. This may or may not be for you.
Right. And I'm not trying to make up excuses of how or won't it work. I'm just processing in my head that, you don't want to get wound up and look like a maniac, kind of like doing it and say, 10 o'clock at night trying to explain something and not giving it the right amount of energy and connecting with the person.
Right.
Just a thought.
Exactly.
That's still my biggest thing, is trying to be genuine when I'm trying to build relationships with people. It's still my hardest thing. I'm trying, but it's still.
Okay, so
all of you guys, I can talk to you guys, but I don't know.
Okay, so let's talk about what's the hard part. What's the hard part about building a relationship? Meaning, like, what do you think is the hard part?
Well, I mean, I just don't want them to feel like I'm not being authentic. Like, I really do care and want them to feel like that I care about their health. But in general, I'm not a person that's like, hey, how you doing today? You know what I mean? Like,
you're uncomfortable getting vulnerable with someone and connecting with them.
I guess so. Like, I just don't typically, like, all my friends on Facebook, like, they're my friends and I'll like their posts and stuff like that. But, I mean, all these years, you know what I mean? But, like, I'm never like, oh, well, so how you doing today? Like, it's just, I'm like, oh, your kids are cute. Okay. And I go about my business. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me just correct me if I'm wrong, because this is probably something that everyone struggles with. I'm glad you brought it up. This is connecting with people, and it is a skill. It is definitely a skill, but it has to come from sincerity. But at the same time, it is requiring a depth of vulnerability. And I think a lot of people, and you can correct me if you're wrong, Frankie, if I'm wrong, and this might not be you, but are afraid to be vulnerable with other people. They're afraid to go there. They're afraid to say, you know, I really love the post that you're posting on the Facebook about your friends and your family, and I just think you're an incredible person, but I'm here to talk to you today about something that's, you know, way more than face value of what we post on Facebook. I'm here to talk to you about something that is absolutely revolutionary, that has changed my life. And quite frankly, I think that it could change anyone's life, that if they would just take a look at it for about 15 to 20 minutes and with an open mind. And that gets vulnerable. You're getting vulnerable with somebody. Instead of saying, hey, you look cute on that cute little dress that you bought your kid the other day or whatever. I mean, that's just surface. But when we get down into the meat and potatoes with people, and we're getting real with people, and we're emotionally connecting with them, that's not easy. It's so much easier to have a surface relationship with someone. It is. I mean, it's hard to connect. You know, a lot of us find that it's difficult to connect with our spouses, some of us.
I think that if you focus on adding the value to somebody's life of what Plexus can add to value, and not just the products, but the relationships we have, and the how we're all cheerleaders and the team, and we support each other. Maybe, Frankie, that makes it a little bit easier if you think of it that way, that it's not being inauthentic or anything like that, but think about giving them something of value. And that might change your mindset of when you're saying to them that you're bringing something valuable to their life.
Good points.
You know, I listened to Kristen Abart one time in a Diamond panel. She was on a stage and she was talking about the reluctance of new team members to start sharing immediately because they just wanted to have a testimony first. And this comes down to what Susie was saying, that she always puts it back to the person and says, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but that's very selfish. That's a very selfish mentality, because you just want to keep this to yourself when you know that it works for all these other people, these thousands of people. You know these products work and change these lives of all these people, but yet you are so unwilling to open your mouth about it that you're wanting to wait for your own personal testimony that might not happen within the next 6 months. In the meantime, all these people over here, they're dying for an answer. And you're going to keep it from them? And so when you think about that, what you're doing is for other people. It is not about you anymore. It's not about your hang-ups and building relationships and learning how to connect. You only think about what you're doing is helping other people. And if you can just always think about it in that respect, and maybe say a prayer before you start commenting, or say a prayer before you start communicating with someone. If you know that's the thing you struggle with, say, God, help me to be authentic. Help me to think about them and not myself. Help me to not think about making a sale. Help me to look to them and just really, truly want to help other people. And that will change maybe how you communicate with them.
Well, I have a lot of my people aren't local, so I can't really set up like a in-person time to speak with them. But I actually had one that I met up with on Friday, and she bought it that day right there. So I think if I could get some set up in person, it makes a big difference. To me, I guess it seems, partly because it's on the computer, it does seem ingenuine, because I could talk somebody to death, in person about stuff, with them and listen.
Right.
But it just seems odd on the computer. And
so it seems like the computer is like a barrier between you and that person.
Yeah.
Well, then don't use the computer to communicate. In other words, use the computer to make a connection, get the phone number, and get on the phone. That's what I do. Whenever somebody that's on my friends list contacts me that I've never heard, like I've not reached out to them, they contact me and they say, Suzanne, I finally want to hear about this Plexus thing. And I will say, no problem, Gina. I would love to talk to you about it. Here's my phone number. Shoot me your phone number back. Let's set up a time. Would Tuesday or Thursday work for you? I mean, I don't even go into, here's what Plexus is, copy and paste. I mean, when I did that as a brand new ambassador, absolutely I did that. I never do that now. Ever. I get on the phone. And how do you get phone numbers? You connect with them first. Make sure you have that connection, especially if they're asking you, then they want to know. You can say, Gina, absolutely, I would love to tell you all about this. Here's my phone number. Give it to them. What's yours? Just sit there and wait for them to send it to you. Here's my phone number. What's yours? And don't say anything else. And they'll shoot it to you. And they'll say, and you can say, great, what's a good time? I've got Tuesday, Thursday at 4 or 7. Which one works for you? I mean, remember, that's Presley Swagerty. Set up the appointment. And don't go off about Plexus on a text right there. You want to set up the appointment when you can get in front of them face-to-face, or you can get on a phone or a Zoom and talk to them face-to-face about this. That's not over texting, because I think that the texting is so impersonal. And you don't do it in the first exposure. You do it on the appointment date. You tell them about it on the appointment date.
Yeah, I've been trying to make appointments with people like that and talk to them on the phone, or I've tried the Zoom, we did with you, and they just keep getting canceled and postponed, and, but I'm still working on it. I'm trying.
Yeah, and that happens with me all the time. And just know that, how many times have I rescheduled a phone call with a prospect? 25 times? I mean, come on. We do it all the time. Are they worth it?
Yeah.
If they keep throwing the ball back in your court and they keep saying, I'm really busy, I'm so sorry, we had this come up, we had that come up, I really still want to hear about this. Can we do it on such and such date? Yes.
Okay.
Have I had ambassadors that have scheduled sip and sees with me, and then 4 or 5 days before they cancel them? Yes. And then when they say, okay, and they give me a legitimate reason, one of them was in the hospital, one of them got sick, they couldn't get their people there, they didn't have enough time to do it because one of them got sick, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'll never do one for them, and then I calm down and go, hello, they were sick, they couldn't get it done, life happened, reschedule it and do it again. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We do that. It's worth it. Okay, we've been on here for 1 hour and 34 minutes. Y'all are awesome. Okay, so in 2 weeks, we will be doing the 15 Invaluable Laws of Personal Growth, and we're going to start that on Sunday night, September the, I want to say, hold on, I can barely see.
8th? The 8th?
18th, Lori, the 18th. Sunday, September 18th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, is that good time on a Sunday night? Is that too late, or?
That's fine.
No, that's
Okay,
fine.
now let our West Coast people come in if they want to. And so we'll do that, and there you go. That's the same week that we're going to have the Power Week and the Power Hour, and the following week we'll just keep going. Okay?
Allie and I have a Plexus pop-up shop happening on the 17th
Okay.
in Oakland, California, if anybody has potentials.
What's a pop-up shop?
My acupuncturist is letting us use their store as basically our own store.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
So I don't really know how it's going to work yet, but we're really excited about it, and we're promoting it like crazy. So
You're going to have an event.
Awesome.
yeah.
Cool. Yay. I hope that it just goes off awesomely. I know you two are a couple of rock stars working it.
Thanks.
So yay for you. I'm so proud of you. Anybody that's doing something awesome, yay for you. Working hard, doing your thing. Proud of all of you. Just so amazing. I love this team. I just believe in you, all of you, 100% and more than 100%. I know you can do anything you put your mind to. This is going to be an incredible fall. We're going to have an incredible fall. We're going to have an incredible experience. Get ready. It's going to take off.
Woohoo! Yay!
I love y'all.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
Suzanne.
I'll see you on the flip
Look at
side.
Good night.
See you soon.
Bye.
Love y'all.
Night.